Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's Zen Challenge with Teen Yoga. My name is Annja. I will be guiding you today through a yoga practice that can help you to stay calm, become calm, and focus. We are going to start with a breathing technique often referred to as belly breathing, tummy breathing, which is very calming for the body. But obviously you don't breathe with your belly. It's just the part of the body that moves. So we breathe with that, with a big muscle underneath the ribs, the diaphragm. So when we breathe in, that straightens out, and then just pushes everything in the tummy sort of down and out a little bit, and that's where we feel the movement. So we're gonna practice this lying on our front. So legs behind you. Roll over and then use your lower arms as a cushion to rest your head on. Pointing the toes a little out and let the heels fold in so the legs are relaxed. And then breathe into that space, that little bubble you formed in front of yourself. Just allow yourself a few moments to let the world outside just drift away. Your eyes might want to close all by themselves, but sometimes when we're really, really busy, that seems really hard, and then we need to almost force them shut. So just let them do what they want to do, and they might eventually just close anyway, in a relaxed way. And let your attention just wander inwards into that bubble you've got there all for yourself. And as you're lying on your front, you probably notice already where the body moves when it breathes itself. So belly pushing into the ground when you breathe in. And as you breathe out, you slowly feel the tummy flattening out. Allow yourself to become absorbed with that movement in your body. And that doesn't need our attention. The body breathes itself, but it can be very helpful to watch and intentionally focus on what is going on there. And as the body calms down, maybe taking a little more control of the breath. And when you breathe in, with the belly being quite relaxed, just feel it pushing it a little harder against the ground. And as you breathe out, feel everything relaxing. You feel your body slowly lowering back down to the ground. And as you breathe in, the belly wanting to round, so it's pushing against the ground. And becoming absorbed with that rhythm. Maybe try to breathing out a little slower, so the body takes a bit longer to get the air out. Not so much that you need to gasp or you start holding your breath. Just take your time to let the air out. And then remind yourself that we're here to move our body. So we're going to start doing that really slowly from the position you have at the moment. Tucking your toes under so you feel them pushing into the ground. Put your hands underneath your shoulders and bring yourselves onto all fours. With your head above your knees, You can keep your toes tucked if you like. And we're going to come into puppy pose here, which is a lovely stretch for your back. Let your hands walk forward until the arms are stretched, bending the elbows, and then if you can, bring the forehead to the ground. It's also called melting hand, so you feel how the front of the body is stretching. If that's too tight in your shoulders, you can bend one elbow and rest your forehead on there. And then very slowly make your way back onto all fours, hands underneath your shoulders. Tucking the toes under. And gently sit back. Putting a little bit of weight onto the area of your, the bottom of your feet. Feeling the toes stretching into the ground. If this is too uncomfortable, you could always lean forward a little bit and take some weight off them. The feet is what keeps you moving every day. So we don't always be hugely grateful for them or look after them very well. Come forward, release the feet, and you might want to tap your toes out a little bit, so because they've been static for a bit. If you're happy, comfortable to sit on your heels, but do that. Otherwise, you can sit any which way. I prefer to sit cross-legged, but you can have your legs right in front of you, whatever feels good. Feeling both the sitting bones in the ground, because we often start leaning to one side and the body wants to go back to positions we are in a lot. I'm going to breathe in, opening the arms wide, letting the shoulders come away from the ears, fingertips wanting to reach away in opposite directions. And as you breathe out, give yourself a very well deserved hug, hands on each shoulder. Use the weight of the arms to pull the shoulders away from the ear, giving yourself that space in your throat so your voice can be heard. And then gently let your head drop forward so you feel a little bit of a tug between the shoulder blades. And then straighten out again. Release the shoulders and bring the tops of your hands together in front of you. So you have this eagle arms. You might be able to cross over again at the wrist and bring your palms together, but that's optional. And as you breathe in, lifting your elbows up, 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 you might want to look up at the fingertips as they point towards the ceiling, the sky above. And then gently let the elbows come back down in front of your face. Under your arms, and as you breathe in, opening them wide, maybe wiggling the fingers, bending them back a little. You might want to circle them around. And then hug yourself again, but the other way around, which would have been the one you don't usually, wouldn't naturally go to. Again, let the hands rest on the shoulders, feel the weight, giving length to your neck. And then again, bringing the tops of the hands together in front of you. Or if you want to cross over again at the wrists. Lifting the fingers up. Elbows should be in front of your face. Or maybe even looking up at your fingertips. And as you breathe out, let the elbows slowly come back down in front of you. Undo your arms and open them wide one more time. Wriggling your wrists, and then bringing the palms together in front of you, arms stretched out, and then turning the interlaced hands away from you. Maybe bending elbows a little bit so you play with the movement in your wrist. And then lift both arms straight up along your ears. As you breathe out, turn to the right, let go of your hands. One hand, left hand lands on your right knee and the other one behind you. In a seated twist. Maybe look a little bit towards your right shoulder, but don't force your neck. Just feeling muscles along the spine. It's a little bit awkward to breathe in that twist because we're squashing the diaphragm. When you breathe in, you're lifting both arms straight up again. Return to center, and then we're going to go to the other side. As you breathe out. And then continue to breathe in that twist. You might even notice that one side feels totally different to the other, which is perfectly normal. And as you breathe in, de-rotate, lifting both arms up again along your ears, reaching up with the fingers. And as you breathe out, make a really wide circle with your arms. Let them slowly come down by your body, feeling the shoulder blades move at the back of you. And then we're going to come onto all fours again. Swing your legs out. It's also called tabletop pose. And feeling the hands underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hip. I'm going to come forward a little bit because I run out of mat here. Straightening the right leg behind you, pushing the heel away from you. Feeling the stretch in the calf muscles. And lifting the right leg up, the right toes pointing down. Either stay there, or maybe your left arm wants to reach in opposite directions. So left fingertips wanting to reach forward, left heel go back, lengthening everything in opposite directions. As you breathe out, come back to all fours. And going to the other side. Stretching the left toes out, maybe pushing backwards and forwards a little bit. And then when you're ready, lifting the left leg up. Flexing those toes, so the toes want to point down. Lengthening through the heel. As if you want to, if there was a wall behind you, the entire sole of the foot will be against the wall. And then lifting the right arm up as well, if you want to. I'm running out of space here. Straightening the leg behind. Try to keep it parallel towards the floor. And then return onto all fours again. We're going to do a little bit more for our spine. A few rounds of cat-cow. When you breathe out, you're rounding your back, letting the head drop, looking into your belly button, lengthening the arms. And when you're ready to breathe in, let the belly drop, sticking your bum out and slowly lifting your head. And then swap between those two poses, but go at the speed of your breath. So you don't go into cow pose until you're actually ready to breathe in, and the other way around. Then come back to a tabletop position, or fours. Looking over your right shoulder, see if you can see your heels. And then go the other way around. So bending your spine in a different way. Going back to the other side. And then coming back to stillness. Stretching the right leg out again behind us. Pushing the heel away. We're going to come into plank, so the left leg will join the right. Feeling those palms pushing into the ground. Maybe you can rock forward and backwards a little bit. And from here we're going to find our downward facing dog. So when you breathe in, you're lifting your bum up, push it back. Wanting to push the heels towards the ground. They may not reach, but that's absolutely fine. Just having a few moments here in your down dog. Make sure your head is hanging. Lengthening the arms. When you breathe in, as you breathe out, maybe bend your knees a little bit. You want to push your ribs towards your thighs. And then very slowly walk your hands towards your feet. Keeping the palms on the ground. Doesn't matter if you need to bend your knees. And just have a moment in ragdoll, let your head hang. Feel the weight of the head pulling at the spine. Bringing your hands onto your thighs, keeping the elbows into your body. When you breathe in, coming to stand, bringing the upper body forward and up. Very slowly, give your head a moment to adjust, being all the way up here again. In mountain pose. Maybe rocking forwards and backwards a little bit on your feet. Lifting the toes up. Wriggling them. You might want to grab the mat or the carpet with your toes if you wanted to lift them up. Letting your shoulders relax. Let's turn the palms out to the front, so you only want to reach your fingers down to the feet, but you can't be asked to bend down. We're gonna do a sequence of movements now, also called moon salutations, rather than sun salutations. So we're gonna move from one side to the mat or the space you've got here from the other. Interlacing your hands in front of you, and then push the hands down to the ground. Bending one elbow a little bit, feeling into the wrists. And as you breathe in, lifting both arms up along your ears, relaxing the shoulders. Lifting the right knee up and stepping all the way to the right, coming into a wide-legged stance, releasing the hands and let the hands come parallel to the floor, 5-pointed star. Turning the toes out, preparing for goddess pose, bending the elbows. Maybe use your hands here, imagine they're mirrors. So you can just catch a glimpse of yourself. And as you're ready to breathe out, bend the knees, sink in the hips. Imagine there's a wall behind you and you're at the back of your head and the shoulder blades and the bum touching. You breathe in, straightening arms and legs. I'll do this 2 more times. Breathe out, bending elbows and knees. Breathing in, stretching arms and legs. Breathing out. And maybe from here, keep your upper arms parallel to the floor and let the hands drop down a little bit so you just hang there. And breathe in, lifting the arms up again. Breathing in, straightening arms and legs. Let the hands come down by your side for a moment, relaxing the shoulders. Turning the toes to the right toes to the right, and the left toes at a little bit of an angle here. We're gonna find our warrior 2. Bending your front knee. And then lifting both arms up, parallel to the floor. Looking right over your right middle finger, aiming at the target. And bending the right elbow and crossing it over the front knee. Letting the other hand just drop behind you, so you're opening the whole body to one side. If your neck gets a little bit stiff, just look down to your foot. Slowly straightening the front leg, letting the right hand rest on the lower part of your front leg. You might be able to reach the floor. And if you can, let go of the hand behind you and lift it up towards the sky. So in triangle pose here. Your body forming lots of triangles. And as you breathe out, let the left hand come to join the front leg. Come onto your tiptoes with the rear leg. You're finding your lunge pose here. You might want to adjust your feet a little bit so you feel a lovely stretch the front of the hip. Right knees above your ankle. Pushing the heel behind you, the left heel back. And you might want to try, bring your upper body up a little bit. You can use your hands to adjust that knee so it doesn't wobble about. And then bring both hands back down to the inside of your front foot. We're going to find side lunge here. So you turn to the left. Come to sit on your right heel. You can use your hands to hold you stay over here. Lifting the other toes up, or if you like, bringing the sole of the feet down, whatever gives you more stability. Feeling a lovely stretch on the inside of that straight leg. If you want to have a go at balance, maybe you can let go of the ground. If you're worn, you can always use that, just tapping on a little bit. Bringing both hands to the ground. We're going to go to the other side now. So lean into the hands, bring your bum up and shift over to the opposite side. So you're in the side lunge, stretching the other leg. Again, if you want to have a go at balance here, see what happens if you let go of the ground. And then bringing both hands down to the ground. Turning to the other end of the mat or your space. You probably want to adjust your feet here, so you're still in a hip width distance. Just spend your time to find that lunge till you feel a stretch in the hip here. Left knee is above your ankle, straightening the leg behind you. Either stay there, or if you want to have a go, bringing your upper body up a little bit, do so. Just waiting the left bum to go backwards. And then bring both hands down again, framing the front foot. Feeling into that stretch. And crossing the left elbow over the left knee at the front again. Turning the whole body to the side. Letting the right hand fall behind you for a moment so you feel that lovely stretch at the front of the body. And then slowly straightening the left leg. Use your left hand to support yourself on the lower leg or in the floor. And if you can, lift the right hand up. So it's pulling the opposite direction as the bottom one. Triangle pose, Trikonasana. Slowly bending the front knee again. We're going to find that warrior two. Coming up with the upper body, arms are parallel to the floor. And looking over the left middle finger. Relaxing the shoulders. One more breath here. And with the next inhalation, straightening both legs, turning the toes in. You might want to relax your shoulders for a moment. Move them around. We're going to prepare for goddess pose again. Turning the toes out. Bending the arms into this cactus shape, imagining those mirrors here. And as you breathe out, bend the knees, sink in the hips. You might want to go a little bit deeper. So imagine that wall behind you, back of the head, shoulder blades and bum are in touch. Breathing in, straightening arms and legs. Breathing out, bending into goddess. Breathing in, straightening arms and legs. And one more time, sinking into goddess pose. Letting the arms drop down. Upper arms are still parallel to the floor. And then bring them back up again. Breathing in and straightening out. Slowly let the hands come down in front of you. Interlacing your hands. Turning the toes in. And pushing the palms down towards the ground again. Feeling the shoulders being pulled away from the ears. And as you breathe in, lifting both arms straight up along your ears. We're going to step the feet back together so the left foot joins the right. All the way into extended mountain pose. And from here, very slowly let the arms go, making a big, big, big circle. So they come back by the side of your body. Taking a few breaths here. Bringing the toes together. Maybe even the heels as well and the knees. Hands onto your hips. We're going to slowly go back to down, come down now. But before that, we're going to come up on tiptoes. Feeling the heels pushing into each other. Give both legs lend support. And then slowly bend the knees. Turn sideways here so you can see that a bit better. Coming a little lower, a little lower. Let the shoulders stay above the hips if you can, until you're all the way down into the crouching pose. Oh, just turning around makes me fall over. If you want to have a go at balance, put your hands onto your knees. And then very slowly come back to sit on the floor. Maybe straighten your legs out for a moment. Tapping the calf muscles down. And then rebend them again. Putting the feet in a hip-width position. We're going to come into boat pose. Maybe have the hands a little bit behind you. And thinking of that shape your legs are making here in your upper body. Try to maintain that shape. Leaning back a little and lifting the feet off the ground. You can use your hands behind your knees to give yourself support, or just give your boat some side planks. You can play with how high you want to lift them. And have a few breaths here. And then come back to the earth. Straightening the left leg out in front of you. And then crossing the right over. Making sure that the ankle and the knee don't meet. It's really, really uncomfortable and not really very good for them either. So find a sort of soft part of the thigh. Flexing the foot which is on top. Lean a little bit into your hands behind you. And then bend the bottom leg, bringing the whole parcel towards your body. I find it easier to turn my fingers away from me to stay in that position. You can also use your straight arms here to support your back a little, so you're not rounding. And then play with that position. The closer your top leg's coming into your upper body, the more you'll feel that stretch. So just feeling at the outside of your bum. You could either bring the legs more inwards, or you could go the other way. Shift your seat a little bit forward. Staying with your breath. You might even notice how that is slowing down again. And then straightening out again, letting the bottom leg come down, and then swapping over. The other leg go across. You can find that comfy, slightly more padded position for the legs. And then bending the bottom leg into the body. And use your elbows to support your back here. Playing with the position, how close you get your leg to into your body. And don't forget, when we sit a lot and we sort of get stressed, the muscles around our hips, they get really, really tight. So some days this pose I find is absolutely impossible, and on other days it's quite accessible. So it just depends what has been going on in my life. And I'm very slowly straightening the bottom legs out again. We're going to have one more boat pose here. There's just not such a thing as just one boat. So bring those legs in that triangle shape again. Upper body straight, chest puffed out, leaning back without changing the position of the feet. Maybe hold the back of your knees or give your boat a side plank. And slowly make that boat longer. And longer. Feel your tummy muscles moving. Longer still. Longer still. Coming closer and closer to the floor. Until you lie all the way back. Let the toes drop out. Allow yourself a few breaths here. We're going to finish off with a spinal twist. So bending both knees and just wrapping your elbows, thumbs around them and squeeze them on top of you. Maybe roll around a little bit on the muscles in the lower back. And that little parcel you are, let yourself drop onto your favorite side, keeping the knees as close as possible in your body. Then straighten the bottom arm out in front of you. And then let the top arm come straight up and over your midline to the floor space behind you. Maybe even turn your head away from your knees if that's accessible, but watch out what's going on in the neck. Don't want to force it. It's a little bit awkward to breathe in that position because we're actually twisting that muscle, that diaphragm. And then bring the arm which is behind your back to join the front. Pull your knees into your body and roll onto your back. And then of course we're going to go to the other side. So with your knees tight into your body, go the other way around. Maybe use the bottom arm to hold the knees in place depending on how slippery or close are your carpet. They might want to slide away from you. And then lift the top arm over and behind you. Bringing the arm, which is behind you, back to join the knees in front of you and then help them to roll back on top of you. And here you are, your favorite position, Shavasana, resting pose. So, options, you can just lie on your back. Remember floor space again. Or put something underneath your knees. Or if you have a chair, a bed, or anything available, you could just shuffle up to that piece of furniture and put the lower legs on top. Maybe have your hands on your tummy so you feel that breath again. Or just have the arms by your side with the palms facing up. Give the shoulder blades a space to go underneath you. Choose your pose. Maybe grab a blanket if you feel you might be getting cold. And then taking a deep breath in through the nose and a long breath out. And again in through the nose. You might want to blubber your lips. And allow yourself to become absorbed in the rhythm of your breath. Just watching that. Feel the top of your feet being relaxed, your kneecaps, your belly, your shoulders, your fingertips, your wrists. Maybe tuck the chin in a little bit so you feel a lengthening at the back of the neck. Wiggling your jaws around. Maybe scrunch up your nose, lifting the eyebrows all the way up to your hairline, and then let everything relax. Feeling the back of the head against the floor, the shoulder blades, the lower back, the spine, the fused part at the bottom of the spine, pushing into the ground as you breathe out, the back of your knees, the calf muscles, the heels. Notice the entire body being totally relaxed. We're going to slowly make our way back up into seated position. So you can bend your knees into your body again. Make a little parcel rolling onto your favorite side. And when you're ready, come into seated position. Maybe keep the eyes closed for a little longer. If you get the palms of your head together with the fingers apart, so the bony bits are touching, and give them a little rub, and you feel the energy is developing, the heat. Very, very gently hover them over your eyes, don't push in. And when you're ready to open your eyes, just blink them open behind your fingertips. And thank yourself for coming to yoga practice today. Thank you for joining me. Namaste. So I'm going to share a well-being tip with you. And this is all around smells and the uplifting power smells can have on us. So not necessarily the expensive perfumes, but the natural smells that are all around us. And we all know that when certain smells, like a good meal, or all these memories come up in us, and it's just interlinked with the feelings we had when we smelled this before. So I encourage you to just on your walks or even in your garden, explore nature, what's there on offer today. There are so many strong smells out. You may have a lavender hedge or rosemary bush. Mint is just grows everywhere. It's like a weed, but just pick one up and rub the leaves between your hands and enjoy the smell that is releasing it, and take some joy from it. And that brings me straight to the challenge I'd like to set you, all about smells. And I brought some nature into this room with me, and even though you said you can't smell it, it's already spreading its smell around the room. So this is elderflower. It's got a beautiful little star-shaped flower, and it grows from a shrub. This one came from a shrub, sort of not quite tall, but anyway, it's taller than me. It smells very, very subtle, but of course what you can do with it, and when it's releasing its full power, is make elderflower cordial. There are lots of recipes online. You don't need much, mainly maybe a few people to help you pick all these flowers, bring them home, and then they need some sugar and soaking. So that's when they release their power. Once they're in water, the whole kitchen will fill up with this gorgeous smell. And then of course making some elderflower cordial, filling them into some sterilized jars, jam jars or bottles, and gift them to somebody. Maybe put a pretty label on it. You can make them all yourself, which can bring your whole family together, or also people that you want to give a gift to. It can be left on somebody's doorstep. You can deliver it safely. You might even have a granny or another elderly person in your family who has a fantastic secret recipe, something that she used to do when they were younger, and perhaps they can share that with you. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much for joining me this morning. Stay safe. Take care.